Hello, this is Mark Renhagen. Welcome back to the Tail Spinner podcast. I'd like to introduce myself. I already did. Alicia,
Well done.
thanks for coming here. And Joe, thanks for being here. And today we're discussing Badlander. We're in the middle of final design steps. We've laid out most of the PDF, and we're just sort of working out the details now. And of course, those details are the hardest part. But yeah, where should we start?
Well, let's see. Well, I did go over that brief descriptions of the disciplines on that page. I did go over that yesterday. You might want to polish it. I was getting really tired. It's harder than it seems, trying to sum up what each discipline does. And so we could do that. We could take a look at one of the guilds.
Let's start with the disciplines page. That's the pick discipline.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I filled in yesterday, and you're probably going to hate some of the things I wrote, so you might want to change it.
Good. I love criticizing people's writing. That's a joke, folks. I honestly don't.
No.
I find it hard to give critical criticism. I prefer to give positive criticism. Pick discipline, you mean?
Yes.
All right. Cool.
So yeah, because I had to go through the main disciplines and I sum them up. And so I also noticed that we do have, I think there might have been, so I made a note about the Ravens. We have them as athletic and survival. But I noticed they're bowmasters. So I felt like bow should be, we do have a bow skill. So it should be maybe bow and survival.
I think that's a good point. I think we should definitely do that.
Because bow and survival seems pretty balanced. Okay.
So we just need to make sure we change that on their B page.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Thanks. Okay. Oh yeah, this looks good.
So my only thing was to make sure that we chose for the roles. We have perform. Athenra and Basaju both use perform. We have reverie and perform for Athenra, perform and oakwise for Basaju. If we wanted the skills to be different.
Yeah, it shouldn't overlap like that. So Finster is perform and lore-wise.
Yes, right. So perform is
reverie and perform is in 3. Yeah, we have to get rid of it in either Basaju. So Basaju would not have perform.
Okay.
Let's get rid of it there. So Oakwise, and what are the other skills we haven't done then?
Okay, well, we need to take a look at the sheet.
Yeah.
All right, I'm scrolling down.
We did both the guilds and birthrights together. I remember that's sort of our system.
Yeah.
Right.
And we wanted to cover each skill would be done at least once, if not. And then many are done twice, right?
We have a healing skill and an investigate skill. Have we used either of those? Feast skill. I would just imagine the herald should have feast.
Well, the thing to keep in mind is
there's no feast.
Okay.
That the reason we put perform with Basaju is because their discipline says that you must do this while singing or laughing.
Oh, yes. That's true. The description.
Well, Feast does it as well.
Okay.
Or Athenra, we give them something else then.
Oh, Pureborn and Heralds both have
Actually,
command.
Athenra wouldn't have perform. Yeah, that's probably better. So Athenra needed something else. What were the ones you said?
Well, Herald I'm giving Feast to because Pureborn have command also. And Heralds should have Feast because that's what they do.
Okay.
So I'm going to give that. I just feel like that fits them, I think. But we can change it after if we need to. So investigation is one. Oh, no. Yeah, investigate. Do we have... And there's healing.
Well, the Ascenra one is you go into or continue a
Oh.
trance, and if you succeed at reverie or blank, when you have your eyes closed, you can also do one of the following.
Maybe give them ortho.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking.
Orthos one.
Or
Yeah.
intuition.
We've used intuition, I think.
Okay.
I think I saw. Oh, yeah, horned.
Ortho.
Yeah, it's for the horn folk.
Yeah,
Okay.
so ortho needs to be a thing, and no, we have healing. That's good. Guffey's persuade. Yes, command. We had it twice, and I just changed the heralds to have feasts. So
okay, guile.
The Dusk Watch should. No, they don't. No, they don't. Guile. Oh, wait. What if
Slight is spelled wrong?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It was getting late.
All good. Everyone but me makes mistakes now.
I know. Mark always spells things perfectly.
Always perfect spelling, folks. Never, ever misspells anything, ever. And if you can't tell that's a joke, you don't know me well enough.
Perfect punctuation. Okay. Oh, well, exotic weapons. That's one that we haven't used. But is there always one left out, or is it?
Zavanti would have exotic, maybe. But they already gave me crap. Streetwise is done. Someone else must have Streetwise, no? Nope, no one else has Streetwise. Dang. Streetwise is weird for them.
So what do we need to change? We still have
to give them exotic.
Yeah, Zavanti would have exotic, but then Streetwise is left open.
Well, or firearms.
What about...
firearms, definitely. Who else? No one else has firearms.
Oh, yeah,
wait,
firearms.
Do they have a firearms? Does it relate to shooting guns? I think we made it so they do this thing and then they can shoot the gun. They can't shoot a gun and do the power. So if you give them firearms, they could use their discipline and fire the gun at the same time.
There is, a level of their discipline that affects their gun shot. So,
by the way, do we make it clear in the rules somewhere that when you use a discipline, you get to also do something else at the same time with that roll? We should make that very explicit because I think we've talked about it, but I don't know if we've ever explained it.
It implies that that's your action. Using your discipline as your action is what it implies.
Yeah, and we've talked about it as, oh no, you can do this and do your discipline. Because how else would you use firearms to do your discipline without firing a gun, right?
So it's like one roll, and you're adding your discipline to the thing.
You fire the gun in the air? You know, like what are you doing?
Right. So so we do need to clarify that, I think. I think Streetwise should belong to spinsters, maybe. Instead of perform, leave perform for the bossage.
They are so perform.
I know, but they live on the streets. A lot of them, right? Don't they? Wouldn't they be?
I mean, they are the performers.
So
they're the storytellers, right?
Yeah, right. But so what else would we give the bossage then? They wouldn't have Streetwise.
We give them brawl.
Oh yeah. Oh.
So we have
the Andretti. The Andretti should have brawl, and they have survival, but the Ravens have survival. The Andretti should have Beast Cannon brawl.
Okay.
Because we gave them a brawl-ish. One of their branches has a very brawlish power. Yeah, I think that works for them. They're scrappy. I mean, they're survivalists too, but the Ravens are really like trained survivalists.
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean, there's always overlap. There's always, you know, and a tailspinner running a game might be like, yeah, you can roll that because it still fits. I mean, you know, people are gonna tweak what they're gonna tweak, or they're gonna make a call on a roll or something and say, yeah, you don't have to use that. You could use this instead because it makes sense.
Right.
So, but this is just kind of like, we're kind of given a guideline to like where everybody kind of fits in.
Since Motley don't have anything,
Oh,
that
that's
means
true.
you have 6 plus 7. That's 13. 13 times 2, because there's 2 for each, is 26. And then there are 5
30.
times 6. There's 30. So we should definitely be able to have some doubles, not many, but everyone should be on here somewhere, right?
Well,
we have.
there's going to be some leftover skills.
Yeah. So we shouldn't have any doubles.
No, because there's going to be a few extra skills.
A few uncalled. Oh yeah, a few untaken. Yeah.
So then we need to take craft away from either the Vrag or the Zavanti.
I mean, we haven't given anybody a cult. What if we gave Ortho to Basaju and gave Athenra a cult? Would that make sense? Maybe not. I don't know.
Firearms, is that anywhere?
Firearms is nowhere.
Okay, I'm just writing that in Zavanti for now, because we definitely need firearms.
Avowed and Spinster.
Any stuff doesn't get down there. Oh, we have to see though. Maybe the firearms. Maybe the way it works is it's supposed to be beforehand. I think it is supposed to work that way for them.
Avowed and Spinsters both have lore wise. Also, we've doubled up on a lot of abilities. You can tell where the favorites are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a thing too.
Yeah, we shouldn't have favorites. Shame on us. So Zavanti, throw a smoke bomb. Give all attacks a bane in one zone and prevent sight. Reload 1 to 2 pistols using 6 actions. Throw caltrops doing 1 to 6 who move there. So right now it's craft or streetwise, which sort of,
craft and firearms.
Need on a craft or streetwise roll while tinkering. Also, that's what we say in the disciplines. That's where we explain it. It says also do one of the following. Mm-hmm. So it should be firearms instead of streetwise.
Yeah, I agree.
But that means Vrag don't get craft.
But we have rebuilt the Vrag around they love crafting. Stream expertise in arms craft.
Okay,
but
so maybe
Zavanti are very crafty too.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's overlap there. So a Vrag Zavanti is supposed to be the best.
Right?
Right.
Either way, we've done something terrible to someone.
So, but the Zavanti are probably more well, what about exotic? Because we've got exotic weapons. What about Vrag?
Discipline. So the Vrag discipline, sage advice, give an ally 1d8 extra damage. Reroll 1 damage roll against the same foe. If you already attack this foe, get 1d8 damage against them. So the Vrag really need, instead of rolling damage dice, you can break, disable 1 weapon. And right now it's craft and negotiate. So how would you even do these things if you don't have an attack roll?
So they need exotic, maybe, because we don't have exotic anywhere. Maybe
so they're masters of the exotic. That gives them some flavor.
Yeah, because they do create the best of weapons, so they would also create the rarest, strangest weapons, I would think too.
Right.
That kind of works.
Yeah.
Although negotiate doesn't really fit here. I mean, how does negotiate help you with sage advice? Or reroll 1 damage roll.
I think we did that because of the people always trying to attain their weapons, and them doing kind of business.
Yeah, so it makes sense.
But
these are for the discipline and not for
right. So you're not going to negotiate. Negotiate would work with a herald if we wanted to change one of the herald ones.
Yeah, negotiate would work with the herald. Like persuade. Oh, we already have persuade somewhere. Don't we?
How about athletic?
Oh yeah, athletic, because we took athletic out of one of the others. So exotic and athletic for Vrag.
Vrag is athletic.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, exotic or athletic. Okay.
And now we
By the
need
way,
to take
these
lore-wise away from either the avowed or the spinsters.
What about, okay, so yeah. And if we would either of them have persuade or feast?
You doing semi-bold, Mark?
It all depends. It's semi-bold. It should be whatever fits the discipline. It's not about the character. It's about the discipline.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Right. I keep falling into that.
Yeah, we're not defining them.
We're defining, yeah.
We're defining the discipline.
The power.
I have power.
I was just thinking that too.
Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, we're showing our age. Anyone under 30 is going, what the hell are they singing?
Oh, they gotta know that song though.
Even
That
if you know it, there's still some level of what the hell.
Oh wow! What?
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
Dang. That's pretty cruel.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
He shamed us both.
Okay, so we are trying to decide between for avowed and spinster. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the
Now-
avowed.
The spinster, we
Heal,
didn't go
change,
over their
glimmer.
arcanics either. It needs to be tweaked because it's all about right now it still deals with edges, and so but it's still about tails and things. So I remember that much. About healing.
Oh, there's two lore-wise: avowed and spinster.
Yes.
Yeah. I think we should make avowed healing and Dwemera. Oh no, the horn folk have Dwemera.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Closing Zavanti, we did it. Closing Vrag, we did it. We cannot go back now. I'm going to open up Spinster and see what it is. I think I remember pretty well, but just to make sure, add one Dare Dice to the edge ability of any ally. Add one Dare Dice to the edge ability of any ally if they succeed. Foes lose one Crux. Add edge.
Oh, we need to redo that.
It needs to be redone. It's all
We
about
need to redo
edges.
that.
Dare Dice.
Yeah.
So we already redid
Hey.
it.
No, we didn't do this. We dropped before we got to the spinsters, so we need to do this.
So let's take a step back and do that first.
Okay,
I
because
think
that could
that's a good
change.
idea, 'cause-
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was not done. All right, I'm gonna close. I'm gonna change it to this page on the stop screen, present, share screen, path of spinster. Voila. Okay, that wasn't so bad.
Okay. And we want not lore wise. So let's pick a skill first.
Lore wise fits the spinsters really well.
For form and lore wise, both work very well.
I know spinsters
let's
are Mark's favorite. So
Yeah. So
I know the
they have-
spinsters are your favorite. So
and this really should feel like they're wizardly, right?
Yeah.
Because we're basically
Right.
secretly making our storytellers the wizards. So their disciplines should all have kind of a, I mean, I'm not saying it should be spells, but it should have a wizardly feeling, you know?
Mhm.
What if one of the things they do is they give an ally a dare die? You know?
Yeah, like giving allies dare dice, I think that was something we had discussed before, is that that's one of their main things, is that they kind of boost the allies. They might possibly have a little bit of healing, we said, but that's mainly the avowed. But if we wanted them to have like one, so they basically weave their stories into reality, is kind of what the spinsters do. Just for people anybody who's watching and joining us.
One of your dare dice.
No, have them just given a dare die. Let them do it every round if they want to. So there's just a ton of dare dice.
Well, that kind of just ruins the whole point of dare dice. You're kind of taking away the whole point of having a thing of scarcity, and then thereby you're taking away the whole point of going up in rank has meaning. And so, if you want to do that, great, but then don't call it dare dice.
Yeah. So the spinsters, I see, they are spinning the story. So in a combat is another story to them. It's
how about
it's
if you give an ally one die to roll on top of their normal roll?
But first of all, if you succeed in a performer lore-wise roll while telling a story,
yeah,
like telling an engaging story.
Give an ally.
I see them as.
How do we make it more wizardly?
They're plucking the strings of fate. So when I did the description of it on the Pick Discipline page, yeah, spin threads of story into reality, pluck the strands of fate and folly, aid allies, and influence outcomes.
I actually like the dare dice, Joe. I think having it be limited is interesting. The dare dice go up really quickly.
Do they?
And don't we have it? You can get extra dare dice by spending your brazen.
Yes.
Yes.
So that allows a spinster.
They have plenty of dare dice.
So a spinster could spend and still get another dare die and still to give it to another ally, even. So if you have a heavy hitter like the Free Blade is pounding on somebody and they're doing really well and they need a little bit, they need that extra oomph every turn, the spinster is like, oh, I'm out of, well, I'll get brazen and take some brazen and do something to, they pluck that Dwemer twine of fate, and the Free Blade has a mighty blow. Like it's kind of a kind of cool, well, cinematic in my head, but if you could see it, it would be amazing. Yeah.
What do you think about add or subtract 1d4 to somebody else's roll?
Thing is, you're doing this on your roll, so how can you affect someone else's roll?
Their next roll.
How about at any time before your next turn, add one of your dare dice to any roll made. Just as that.
Okay. I also want it to be a subtract
or damage roll made.
Okay.
Or subtract.
You can make somebody else fail their roll.
Oh, but this is a self boost, isn't it? Anytime.
But how do you subtract the dare dice?
You roll the d6 and subtract the result from there.
First of all, subtract. Which I know that rule sounds stupid, but
okay.
and the new world of math
I got
illiterates,
one that'll do it.
Yeah, I think it should be a separate thing.
Oh, scene difficulty, yeah.
Oh no.
Is that too much?
By 5. Usually it works in 5s, doesn't it? Scene difficulty.
A 5 would be pretty incredible. I mean, you're talking about the possibility of making all difficulties 13 versus 18 on a D20. That's a lot.
Oh, because we used to be like difficulties were basically 10, 15, 20.
Those are usually the thresholds for how
25.
difficult they expect something to be.
You could
So this
change
would
the
be-
threshold.
Yeah, this
Well-
would be vastly changing the threshold if you want to
Yeah.
do that, which is okay.
Change the threshold 1 up or 1 down, which would
Um,
be kind of interesting.
And doing it by 5 actually does mean
But
less
folks,
math.
that's my mother, and I'm moving to America. Freaking out.
Okay.
But
We
I'm
will
not
keep
taking it.
talking.
Yeah, keep
Oh,
going.
okay.
I'm gonna mute.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think 5 is good also because while subtraction is really hard for people, subtracting by 5 is not.
Right. It's an easy math. So
Yeah.
especially if they are used to our thresholds, like, oh, okay, well, the scene difficulty is 20. Well, I'm going to make it 15.
Right.
And it's kind of a very easy jump. Yeah.
But I really like that as a level 3 because it is a massive change to the scene,
Yeah.
but it affects everyone.
Yeah.
So you can either make it easier for everyone, including the enemy, to do stuff, or make
Yeah.
it harder for your own guys to do stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah. So if you're losing Crux and they're winning, you could just up the scene difficulty because you're losing anyway and try to make them fail. And like then buying yourselves time to kind of like change the fate of the battle, turn the tide of the battle in your favor. So it could be very strategically used. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Crux, what if we have one where you re-roll the Crux for both sides?
Just
Wow,
a random.
that's cool.
Like totally risk
Yeah.
because you might roll and the enemy ends up with 6 Crux now.
Yeah. Yeah. You're definitely changing.
But you're changing the setup.
Yeah. Because I like them being like they're just plucking strands of fate, but they don't really know the outcome. They're altering the course of fate just to lead to another possible destiny. Throwing in wild cards, and I kind of like that about them. They're mixing it up. It's almost like, in a way, it's our brand of, and I don't really want to say, but like wild magic. In a way, it makes me think of that, but not as crazy. But it has that like.
Mark, the
shift.
thing you're changing, we wanted to stick it at 5 because it changes the threshold and it changes the entire setup of the scene. So it's a pulling on fate, and 5 is much easier for people to do math with than 1d6, which is what we'd be doing.
It's adding though.
Well, we wanted to just change.
We want to just change.
Yeah, so that because a 5 threshold.
Well, you can either make things harder for everyone, including your allies, or make things easier for everyone, including your enemies. So it's a push your luck.
So you're saying subtract. So it's still you're still keeping subtract.
But subtracting by 5 is much easier
to you. But I've done analysis of gamers, and a lot of people have trouble with subtraction.
But if you're changing the scene difficulty, it's 1d20 in the center of the table. Right, but it's one thing in the center of the table that you're just then changing by 5.
That's true.
Like, it is subtraction. It's one person doing it for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's very
but
visible.
5 is a hard number.
Because generally the thresholds are generally.
You say 5 is easier than something random from a D6? No, it's not.
No, but don't we have like our thresholds are generally done in like 10, 15, 20, 25, 30?
Not anymore. No, that is just a general way to describe it. But really, in practice, and if you've been, if you play tested, right, you would know that as a game master, you're just flipping it to whatever number you want as it goes along, and you're not doing it by 5s at all.
Okay.
Okay,
Right?
do we want to do
1920? So if what I generally do is if the players make 2 rolls in a row, I pump it up by 1 or 2. And as the scene goes on, I tend to make it higher just to add to the tension, you know. But it just gradually goes up, you know.
Okay. What if we did spend one dare die? About that. Because then it is still the spend a dare dice. It is still 1d6.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I had.
Well, but
I just had
for
it
the
up.
scene.
You're right.
Yeah. Okay. So level 4, you reset the crux, but not really reset. There's a risk to it. You may accidentally give them the upper hand.
Which doesn't seem like a level 4 is the only problem with it. I love it. It just
Okay.
is weak as hell for 4.
Okay.
It doesn't feel very magical.
Okay,
Do you want to
so
swap 3
Like
and 4?
none of these feel all that magical, but they're cool as hell. They just don't feel like magic, you know?
okay.
But maybe that's impossible with our system. Maybe it's impossible to capture that.
Well, we
Well,
can't have it feel like high magic because we're not really doing high fantasy
yeah,
magic.
we're trying to ground our
You know, we don't want them throwing fireballs. This is them plucking at the strings of fate and changing
Yeah.
the world.
I'm
Yeah.
talking coincidental magic like in Mage,
Okay.
okay.
right?
Yeah.
Like I don't like Fireball. Like it always seemed like there's a reason they didn't put that in the movie, right? There's a reason.
It's messy.
It just looks silly.
Okay. Well, let's
It
figure out
looks silly.
what other powers we want, and we can arrange the levels
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Let's just figure
Yeah.
out just ideas.
So, how would one change fate coincidentally?
Actually, I figured out this one. Roll 2d6. Change the results to one of the results.
But then
So
they're just always going to pick the better one, the better option.
Yeah, but otherwise it's a bullshit. Like at any level, it's a bullshit power. If it doesn't give you it doesn't give you some advantage, it's a bullshit power, right? No?
Okay, what if you roll 2d6?
For your side and
Roll
1d6 for their
2d6
side?
and change each side's crux to one of the results.
Oh, so you choose who has
Yeah,
what.
I thought of that, but then it's even more. You always get the better one. So,
Well, that's the
yeah,
idea.
I mean, it at least is an advantage, you know.
If you're
Right.
losing and you roll that, it might give you just like even one over them, or it might even them out. You never know what the roll's going to do. So
Yeah.
it may not be hugely skewed, but it might suddenly give you a fighting chance. So if you've been losing horribly, it's a good way to kind of twist the fate of the.
We
of the
could
battle.
add, if both dice show the same number, reset all crux 1. Because my fear is that you do this and then you roll 2 6s.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and
Well, what if you roll a 5 and a 6?
Then the battle is close, but your side is doing better. But if you roll 2 6s, everybody resets to 1.
Hmm.
What do you think?
Okay.
I'm fine with it. So, coincidentally, could there be, and this might get like out of the realm of what we've been going for here, but now I'm trying to think in terms of wizardly, but coincidentally, like weather effects or environmental, or coincidentally, I'm always thinking.
You could do coincidentally have the wind blowing in the wrong direction, so the other side can't use ranged, but you can.
Yeah, you can cut off. Right. So you're upwind. Coincidentally, your foes are downwind. Yeah.
Wind is in your favor. You can use ranged attacks. Foes cannot.
Yeah. That's actually kind of neat.
I mean, that
If you have a
Yes.
raven in your party,
a raven and a Savanti.
yeah, that would turn the tide of the battle right there. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, we could do you get a boon, they get a bane. But I kind of like the just.
They can't use. Yeah, if it's level 5, then it should shut down their range attacks completely.
What if you're underground?
Well, there's still the
Weird coincidence.
well, because you've got the hot and the cold. There are
Someone opened the door somewhere.
There are
Yep.
wind channels in the caverns underground, because we've already established that there are 2 different hot and cold vents and canal things that are
Okay. How about if everybody's hands become sweaty and slippery? And so the enemy, anytime they miss an attack, they drop their weapons.
Say it again. How does it work?
Basically, everybody's hands get slippery. And so if you miss an attack, the weapon slips out of your hands.
Yeah, it's not the pick up a weapon, I believe, is just one move.
what if
Okay.
We should probably make it more like 3 or something.
what if they let's see. What if it's like, I'm trying to think of what if there's a way to make the enemies sluggish or slow, or
Now suddenly this feels more like magical.
the strong wind. Yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of what,
Yeah. Okay. So what about a terrain change, or like suddenly there's quicksand, or there's an avalanche, or a mud puddle, or something that they get stuck in an area of.
I like what you're saying. For this level 6, do we want to have that because you only roll blight at the end of the scene?
Yeah, so how do you do the
So-
roll? But I guess you would do the roll once. But then we have to explain you can only do the roll once. But what if they could just keep re-rolling until they got it and then let them do it?
Well, if
Because
they
the
keep
end of
it
the
rolling,
scene,
they got it, then they get it.
Rolls, right? Yeah, I think we got to get rid of this.
Yeah, and then we should
And
stick
it
with
should be
Alicia's
some.
So what
amazing-
about
idea of
something-
changing terrain?
Something more a little bit Fey-ish. They have their requisite is Feyre. So they're actually
Okay.
using Feyre Dwemer predominantly. So what about something that's a little bit strange, or still coincidental, but
What if you cause your foes to experience both the real world and the dreaming world, and so all terrain to them is considered difficult terrain,
you
and they're likely to trip and fall.
you
anytime they
plunge your
move.
foes into a reverie of of your making. Yeah, so they probably have that, like a condition.
Yeah. What were the conditions again?
And one. Okay. I think they should. You should. It's level 6. You should take away their movement. They're kind of like they don't know where they are. Yeah, level 6. You just stop them all.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Quite right.
We could have it make the terrain hazardous, causing them to take damage every time they move.
Yeah, that's true.
But
too.
how are they? Now that's suddenly high magic, right?
Yeah.
Twisting ankles, breaking legs.
Yeah.
So there is a psychology to pain sometimes too.
How about they think their own allies and think their allies are foes?
Oh, mistake their allies for foes. Yeah, yeah.
So basically, everybody attacks your foes. Attack whoever's closest, friend or foe.
I
Yeah.
believe their allies are foes and attack the closest one. Wow, so you have the enemy all turn on each other. That's crazy. Maybe all your foes with lower poise than you. But it's too long to write.
Let's do whoever is.
Oh, you made it longer. See, whoever is closest is
Could be an
not-
They
ally.
may still be.
because it
Yeah.
could be now. It could be one of your people, so they attack
Right.
one of your allies.
Right, but that's
before
instead of
it was-
doing the. That's instead of doing the if their poise is lower than yours. That's my thought.
But they may
Oh,
already
I
be engaged
see.
in battle with if there's already like a battle engaged, then they're probably already I'm just thinking it may not if you say
But at that
closest.
point, you just say to your allies to back off, let them kill each other. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's if we wanted to put the restriction of if their poise is lower than yours.
Yeah. Making it longer.
No.
So all foes to believe their allies are foes and attack whoever's closest. Okay. Ensorcel. There's the word.
Yeah, you're not supposed to use the big words, but
Wizardly. Yeah. It's a wizardly word.
yeah.
Or sorcerer. Now, do you want to have a more wizard-ish effect at one of the lower levels?
Yeah, like maybe we want to redo level 3 and make it more, or level 2 rather, and make it more magic-y.
Yeah. Yeah, because it should be colorful. These guys are colorful.
Yeah.
Despite dressing in plain robes and such.
Actually, they don't dress in plain robes. They dress in they dress in multicolored robes.
Oh, you're right. So everything about them is colorful. Yes.
Yeah. That's actually taken from the book.
What if
they did the TV show and then didn't do it? What was the fantasy show that came out recently? It wasn't very good. About the village kids who run off with the storyteller. Oh gosh, very famous book. Can't remember. Huh?
The Giver?
No. Now I gotta look it up. Sorry, folks. Wheel of Time.
Ah. Okay, so what if we at level 2 do something where it's you're very distracting to everyone? So like your flashy colors and movement make everyone pay attention to you and lose one move or something like that.
Like in Rapture, like rapt
Okay,
attention.
so
You can capture attention. They stand in awe of you, or is that a very spinsterish? Let me see. What am I looking for here?
I mean, they could just be caught up by your words.
Yeah, right. What you say, you're saying these. Yeah.
So maybe,
well, I mean, it explains what to do. You just want to add in to distract them somewhere.
I was thinking we do a different effect, like we take
Okay.
away some of their moves.
Yeah, that the game master never uses moves correctly, right?
Okay.
So a power that takes away enemy moves is usually kind of lame because the game master isn't using the moves properly anyway. Because if they did, they would trounce the players every time. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like the game master purposely does dumb moves. It's almost like it's almost like a TV show, right? Where you're going, why are they keep running in? You know, like why do they keep running in one at a time? I remember as a kid, I used to scream. I used to hate that in movies. Like the bad guys would come in one at a time at Conan or whoever, giving
Yeah,
Conan
why are you guys
time.
taking
Why are they all
turns?
just mobbing? Like it's so stupid. Like like little kids in the park beating up people older than them, a little gang of kids. They get it. You don't go in one at a time. You're like all 6 kids just run at them at the same time. One of you's going to clobber, the rest of you are going to take that guy down. Right? Kids do that all the time. And yet in movies, it's the same. It's the funny that's all. In gaming, it's the same thing, right? Because you basically, you're trying to make the players feel like they're going to lose, but really,
okay. So
you want to win.
the ways that you change things in combat are you take away other people's actions, you reduce their armor, or you reduce their damage.
There's also conditions like befuddle, stun, charmed, blind or deaf, exhaust. You can do fearful. There's different conditions. We have all these conditions that I feel like add some flavor to. I always like a befuddle.
And see, I just added that in just to give a little flavor to this. Suddenly it works to me. Like it just feels better. Doesn't it feel better? It just feels better.
Yeah.
Well, but now befuddle is a specific condition.
Yeah,
Is it?
Yes, befuddle.
We don't have befuddle, do we? No, we don't.
A befuddled creature has a max speed of 4, cannot take an action.
Cannot take an attack action.
Action, right? Yeah.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Yeah, I think it's great.
And now it can be befuddle a foe also, and now this is a higher level, and then that one that sucks can go back down here. Which is the one that sucked? 4, right? Yeah, that's the one that sucked.
I think 4 is awesome, but yeah, put it at 2.
I mean, it's awesome, but I mean, it's just not that.
But it's still a chance. It's chance.
Right.
Yeah.
And now we can make it weaker again. Now we should make it back the way it was.
Now put it at roll 1d6 for each side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a huge risk. At level 2, that's great, right?
Yeah.
It still should be roll 2d6. Change roll d6. Oh yeah. Roll 1d6 for each side. And change their crux to that result.
And then we can get rid of that.
And then we can take it to the second line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool as hell. For second level, it's like, wow, reset. Worth the risk.
Yeah.
If you're about to lose, you know, and that's some magic.
So
And
okay,
maybe we should
so
have a little flavor here.
yeah, when you're
Captivate.
changing the difficult could be a environmental effect. Could be dust storm or like because I know we used the wind, but there could be dagger rain. There could be blight fog, mist, slippery quicksand, trap pit. No, we don't go that far. Hail.
Well, we don't want too much of the how it works because people are supposed to figure that out themselves, right?
Kind of. I don't like when something isn't there. Like I like a flavor in there because like otherwise it just looks like mechanics, which I personally don't like. I'd rather read a description and figure out the mechanics myself than just have the mechanics written. That's my personal. I'm more cinematic and about like story. I'm more about story. Some people like mechanics a lot, so it depends on what type of player you are.
Well, this is why I think I love our simple mechanics that are very carefully written. I think this could actually appeal to the mechanics people.
Mm-hmm.
They're so brief and they allow you some creativity. But
right.
Bewitch perceptions is good. I like that though. That's bewitch. Yeah.
I was looking for words that kind of get a magical thing in.
Yeah.
A stout wind is also more magical for some reason.
Okay.
Giggling?
Yes, gigging. Not giving.
Gigging.
That's not a typo.
As giggity. You're
Not a
making,
typo.
Typos.
you're making them giggity. Giggity.
When we interview Mark Jackson about art, we should ask him, "Do you ever make mistakes?" And we should pre-warn him to go, "No, I never make mistakes. A true artist never makes a mistake." He'll love that. He'd be the first to admit that mistakes are probably the best thing about creativity. Often the best things come out of a good mistake, right?
Happy accidents.
Happy accidents are beautiful, right?
Yep.
They're beautiful.
There are no mistakes, just happy accidents.
Thank you, Bob.
All right.
Ross.
Are we freaking done?
Yes, let's go back to the pick disciplines page.
Okay.
Hold on. The edge does not make sense.
No, it doesn't. I made a note about that.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's all over the place.
I thought we did this.
I thought that the storyteller, the spinster edge was basically no one hurts a spinster. Like it's super dangerous to be mean to spinsters. I mean, we have the untouchable right above.
Yeah, untouchable. So respected among the high estates and a bit feared if you make a spinster of anyone. You might tell a story about you. It's the same as we have for Vaudeline, basically.
Yeah.
The untouchable sort of. But it could be that part of this, also part of like maybe superstition, hearth wisdom stuff. I remember in Valazar writing about the long night, the long night, and it being spinsters. You know, they give gifts for the children, but that because it's the cold stretch, it's good luck. It's considered good luck to take a spinster into your home and give them a place to sleep for that time.
I kind of feel like we can just take the text under untouchable and move it down, and that'll be the edge.
And that's we could just do that.
But it has no power, and we've made edges more and more like a power. I do love the story types. I just love it. Is there any way can make that work? So intellect, how about just start a scene, put the kind of story you've been telling, give 3 boons to those rolls over the scene. Or it could even be just give 1 boon.
Have we actually put mechanics into all the edges? I feel like we haven't.
No, but this one needs a mechanic. But some do definitely have mechanics. Remember, we started out by saying no mechanics, and then we kind of
the avowed gives +1 armor.
Then we did mechanics. We couldn't help ourselves, and now some have mechanics and some don't.
Yeah, the heralds don't. I just opened that.
Right, but the avowed do. I like the idea of a little bonus.
Yeah, I like a small one. I don't think it should be major. Yeah, 1 boon is fine.
1 boon to these rolls to each ally over the scene. No, it's too much.
That's a lot.
It depends on give 1 boon is not enough.
1 boon to each ally once per scene.
What if you increase all of your allies' score in that attribute by 1 for the scene?
The trouble is they're gonna forget. They're gonna forget.
Yeah,
that's the problem with those. I've done those kind of powers before, and you forget, and then afterwards they come up. Wait a minute, I forgot that +1. We're gonna redo that, and then there's a whole argument.
So, how about grants 1 boon per ally per scene? So every ally gets a boon.
I got it. Give 1 reroll.
Oh, reroll's good.
Which is we never do to
each ally.
No, just to any roll made with that ability once per scene.
Okay. Okay.
My family will just not leave me alone. My mother called my wife to knock on my window and get me to go, "Can't Mark talk to me?" Oh gosh.
That's the mom voice.
Where's Mark? Why can't he talk to me? He's always busy. He always says he's got something going on and he won't talk to me. She doesn't talk like that, by the way.
No. She's going to be seeing you this week.
I'm going to be living with her for at least a couple months. Like, it shouldn't be an issue, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But, hey. She's a lonely widow. Oh, wow. My mom's a widow. That's a weird thing to say. Nice.
Okay.
All right. Give 1 reroll.
Yeah.
Give 1 reroll to any roll made with that.
Pick a type of story.
Once per scene. Okay, that works, right?
I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're choosing one of these. Yeah. Okay.
So back to the pick discipline.
Okay.
We need to do the avowed.
So does the spinster description still fit then? Because spin the threads of story into reality, pluck the strands of fate and folly, aid allies and influence outcomes. Is that still
absolutely?
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Okay.
Even better now than it did before, in fact.
Excellent.
So avowed heals, changes the Dwemer, bonus to the damage dice. Yeah, it's healing and extra damage, basically.
Yeah.
So healing, obviously.
What does the description say for, let's see.
It succeed in a roll while praying or chanting near a flame or the sun.
Okay.
Wouldn't be near the sun.
Well,
Be under the sun.
you gotta be, I mean, yeah, I'd be impressed with them. If,
Yeah.
Just give them the crown because, yeah.
And we need
So,
not lore wise. It's got to be something
No.
else.
All right. So what page do we go to?
we're on the pick disciplines page still. We're still figuring out those traits because remember we had to pause to do the spinster, and we're still figuring out the traits that go with each faction.
Oh, yeah. So we're back to disciplines.
What the role is? Yes, discipline. Pick discipline.
All right. So let me stop screen.
There's a part of me that really wants to give a cult to the Avowed because
That actually makes sense.
I just do. Like I feel like it's kind of cool. Like
Yeah.
you know.
I'm down.
Okay.
Down. Totally down.
Let's do a cult.
All right. Instead of lore-wise, it's a cult. Yeah.
Or Spencer could have a cult.
No. Spinsters have their things, Mark.
We just changed
did
their
it.
whole
No more
thing.
changing.
Lore rise is their thing. They're telling stories, they're performing. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
now
I mean-
do we have any duplicates now?
Okay. I don't think so.
Does anybody else have
Perform.
Yeah, perform. So Basaju.
Perform.
What about negotiate? Do Basaju have a reason to negotiate? Or because spinsters have perform and Basaju need
Heralds negotiate. So heralds can be negotiated at a feast.
and
Basaju.
feast for Basaju. Okay. Let's do it. Boom. We did it.
Okay.
Right?
Basaju are now.
So which are the skills that don't have homes and therefore suck?
It doesn't mean they suck.
Bo
Because usually
doesn't have a home. That doesn't
Yeah, it does.
suck.
yes,
Bo is it Raven?
It does.
yeah, it's a raven.
Oh
yeah.
All right. So what about
So we have one-handed, two-handed, bow,
Investigate.
brawl,
intuition?
exotic.
Investigate? Investigate's pretty
Nope.
cool.
Investigate is cool. Intuition, it belongs to the horned folk, I believe. So
Yeah, they
it's
have intuition.
No one has acrobat.
Streetwise now, right? Acrobat, streetwise, investigate.
Streetwise. Oh, that's a shame.
Because we took that out of Zavanti. Yeah. So you could give
What if we
streetwise.
give what if we give Streetwise and something to Motley, and we just say replace these
Investigate.
and replace these
Oh,
with your
Yeah.
the one, right? So you can do their stuff with your thing, right? So they
Yeah.
would have Streetwise.
they would.
But then it's putting the skills with the people, not the discipline.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a
That's true.
problem, but it's still cool.
But so we've got acrobat, investigate, and streetwise are the three, and they're good. I think they're good skills. I don't think, even though they're not
yeah,
rolled,
it's fine. We don't have to worry
I
about
think
it.
they'll be used. I think they'll be
Yeah,
used. They have their
yeah,
uses. So, I think
And
that's good.
people can be a point of pride. I took the skill, even though it has no,
Right.
You know. All right.
Yeah, I don't see myself ever taking investigate as my dead skill, just because it doesn't have a discipline that goes with it.
Yeah, I would totally
Yeah.
take investigate.
I
that's
always
the-
take investigate.
That's such a good skill. I love acrobat too. I just have a personal love for flourish, because like you're talking about these Badlanders who are kind of brazen and kind of swashy. I know Mark doesn't like the word swashy, but they're swashy, and
They are quite often swashing their buckles.
swashing those. Yeah. So acrobatics, and you're swinging from the chandelier, or you're
I mean, I've
leaping
always
over
seen
the balcony.
pirates as
Yeah.
Exquisitely gay. So
Swashy?
Swashy's. Yeah,
Nothing
pirates
wrong with that.
obviously it was a home for people who had no home, shall we say, in a less tolerant time.
Yes, right. Yeah. So cool.
Yeah.
So cool. We've got the disciplines that you're going to pick.
Yes.
And
that
so
helps.
Does this mean we have everything we need for level 1 character creation?
I think so. Oh, well, I think we might need to just scan the Zavanti also, the Zavanti discipline, to make sure it works.
Oh, let's go to Zavanti.
Because if we didn't get to Spinster, then we didn't get to Zavanti either. Because they alphabetical.
Oh.
Throw a smoke bomb. Give all attacks a bane in one zone. Reload 1 to 2 pistols using 6 actions.
Yeah, it's the old rules, so that's why. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely wrong.
All right, well, let's pull that one up and do
moves
that.
is a lot. Wow.
And
yeah.
Then that'll give us that'll be our time, I think. So let's do that one.
Mm-hmm. Reload 1 to 2 pistols using 6 moves. No.
And we got it up on the screen now so everyone can see. Sorry for the delay, folks.
Okay. Reload 1 to 2 pistols.
I think the throwing the smoke bomb should be just you cause the blinded condition to everyone in the zone.
Yes, because we have conditions and we're not afraid to use them.
Right.
That's what they're there for. Some spice. So let's do that. The smoke bomb, give everyone. Oh, okay. Everyone in one zone the blind condition. So you could throw it into another zone and just affect that zone if you're in this zone.
Right.
So that's the, yeah.
How long does it normally take to reload a pistol?
Yeah. What's the reload time, Mark? Is it one full action? For turn, a full turn. So use your moves too. Okay. So
how about if we just say use 3 moves to reload a pistol?
Yeah. And that way you can load and still fire. And if you have enough move, you could still move. So that's pretty cool. I like the caltrops. I love a caltrop. Is 1d6 enough for level 3?
Any who move in or
through a zone. Yeah. Is 1d6 enough for that? I guess.
I mean, if it lasts the rest of the scene, you're basically cutting off that zone.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
From the combat as well.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. Ignore armor. 1d6 damage, ignore armor because, right? No? Well, maybe not. No, because you might have armored boots on. Never mind.
Actually, I kind of like that because
it's your
the
feet.
soles of your boots are not usually armored.
Yeah. So it's all foot damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fun because it's 1d6, so it's not excessive. But yeah. Okay, set a trap. If they fail a roll. They're immobilized. That's kind of cool. Actually, that's kind of interesting. Set a trap for foe. But like how long does that is that your action? You just
Yeah, I think that's too much.
um
I think they should be a I'm going to throw conditions on people discipline.
yeah, because that makes sense. Let's see. So yeah, I'm looking at like well, there could be there's also slippery. No, because that I don't like the effects of that. So like to
So
knock people
maybe set a
down.
trap for a foe, cause them to be restrained.
Okay, so the
How
trap
do you
pit,
spell donated? It's not coming out right. Donated.
DONATED.
Yep.
Spelled right. It's coming out as a bad. Oh, they want me to say change it to adopted.
Oh,
Silly Grammarly.
so a trap or pit terrain effect. These do damage for how deep and or deadly they are. If alert plus 10 is over the scene difficulty, the character can avoid them unless in combat. They do 2d6 to 6d10 damage. So there's a variety of traps. We'd have to kind of pick what the damage is. Let's see. Let's see, what's a condition we haven't really used?
The ones we tend to use most are knock back, knock down, and knock out.
What about prone? Knocking someone prone. We've got prone.
Prone, the way we have it, is purposefully. Otherwise, you're knocking down.
Yeah.
I think we should do grappled, restrained.
Melee attacks still have a boon on prone. So okay, so the knockdowns and stuff, or knockback.
Yeah, I love the idea of setting a trap, but having a level 4 discipline that relies on somebody potentially failing a roll while in that zone. That's too many.
Yeah.
Requirements.
Right. It's a lot. Traps seem like they have to be like planned out and set up ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because they could which they could still do. It's just not a discipline. They're just setting up an environmental condition. So yeah. And Azavanti would probably use that. Okay.
So we can either have conditions or they can create impediments or chain terrain effects is a good one.
Yeah.
Slippery. That'd be a good one.
Yeah, I was looking at slippery.
Although that only matters for roll of 13.
Yeah, which is kind of weird. It should be failing a, I don't know.
What's the word for a bomb that's like jury rigged? There's a word for that, like improvised. That's it.
I don't want to look it up because I don't want to get.
It's improvised.
Looking at people thinking I'm looking up how to build a bomb.
Yeah, my handler's the NSA. No, I do it all the time.
Oh, okay.
And then I mean,
it's just a game.
It's just I'm just a writer,
I've written so many things. If I'm not on someone's watch list.
Yeah. I did some random searches recently, and I'm like, wait a second.
There are so many gamers working at the NSA. I'm sure they made an algorithm to cross-correlate like people who are writers and gamers.
I once had to search what the result would be of dropping a nuclear bomb on Chicago. So I'm pretty sure that.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably also like how much search there is, or how in depth, what you're clicking on, what I'm sure that matters. Yeah, I don't know. And then it's like if it's gone and nothing, I don't know. It just seems I don't know what they do. But okay, so hazard avalanche. I like wildfires, fire. What about I mean, here's where you can like spark a fire.
Why is Crank familiar right now?
It was there before.
Yeah, that was already.
I was just thinking. I just imagined it. You take something and throw it at somebody, and it grapples them. There's no reason for it to be called a crank familiar.
Yeah, I don't know what that's. Wind a crank wound.
Is wound really spelled the same way as wound?
Yeah.
I never noticed that before. Wow.
I don't feel like wound
English
is used
so weird.
that frequently.
I think we should just do
Wind a mechanical device, yeah, to cause, yeah. I
because
think
we say
that's,
wind, crack wound, crank wound. We're using wind twice, basically.
But what
Yeah.
I don't understand why they're grappled.
I don't understand either. I don't think that makes sense.
So pick a different.
Like
condition.
how big is the device?
And
I mean, this would
grappled
be basically
at fifth level. Grappled is nothing.
What about like a shrapnel thing that does like that explodes and like although I think we have Zavanti who are more destructive that might use something like that. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think a knockback, even a knockback device. Which is like but you what if you knock them back like 2 zones instead of 1? Like because normal knockback, you move a target anywhere.
What if it's like a concussion effect that knocks everyone out of your zone and down?
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Like concussive, like a concussive bomb kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
Okay.
Oh my god. Under knockdown, we have spend 3 action points.
So we have 2 bombs in a row, guys. It's boring.
The movement option is to crawl unless they spend 3 action point, move point. That should be move points. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
move. I can't believe we still have action points in some of these documents. Okay. Okay. Wind a mechanical is to cause all beings in the zone you leave it in 2d damage.
I don't understand that sentence.
Wind a mechanical device to cause all beings in the zone you leave it in 2d10 damage. I don't know what the parentheses are supposed to mean here. Once a certain, like, is that supposed to say?
So this is basically set off a device in a zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just was writing some ideas down.
Okay. Yeah, the parentheses. Yeah.
But this is once again a bomb.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
what about? So what else do we want them to do? So they use. What about another gun thing? Like they need. They're using craft and firearms. So they need another gun thing. They can reload a pistol.
What if you shoot somebody else's powder reserve and cause it to explode?
It would depend on the setting.
Remember, the bullets then were just round slugs.
Right, but they had black powder.
Yeah, but black powder does not go off with friction very good.
And it would require your enemy to have guns.
Yeah.
What if they can reload 2 pistols? I mean, can they? Well, they can't really fire them both, so I guess that doesn't matter.
Plus, the reloading is kind of your knave thing now.
What if they could fire 2 pistols at level 5?
Oh.
I mean, they pull out 2 guns and boom, boom. Like, that's pretty cool. Because normally you can't do that. You have to. It's like
Okay. Fire 2 pistols in the same turn using the same action roll,
but separate damage rolls.
Times 2 damage.
Nice. Yeah.
Let's say separate instead of times 2.
Okay. How about just double damage rolls?
I'm just trying to avoid multiplication.
Yeah, double the normal damage rolls. Well, now that I think it was times 4 though.
Yeah, that's my yeah, separate damage rolls. It's just that explains it. I think that's badass.
That should be 4.
Okay.
And then 4 we should make it more badass. Make it 5.
How about both knockdown and disarmed?
Knockdown, disarm, and take 1d8 damage.
Oof.
It's
That's
5.
long. Yeah. Okay. The Zavanti have become quite interesting to me now.
Yeah, I mean they are largely bombers, but that's okay.
And shooters.
They
bombers
affect
and
zones.
They do.
Like they change combat.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is cool because so often when you have somebody with guns in a role-playing game, they're just every round it's okay, I shoot.
Yeah.
It's the Danny DeVito. So anyway, I start blasting.
Yeah. I honestly, I really didn't like firearms in World of Darkness. That was one of the banes of World of Darkness was using firearms. I was like, oh, please don't get a big gun. I made the automatic weapons and stuff. I made them harder to get because I was just like, I don't want to deal with all that bursts and dice roll things. I just, yeah. It's like, just carry a pistol, man. What, you guys still got to wander around. You're going to have this thing, but yeah, guns.
All right. That's cool.
Okay.
All right. Let's end it, I guess. Thank you everyone for joining us. It's getting late, so we're going to sign off.
Join us next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.